This is the engine bay in my 1989 Takeuchi TB25. My starter died, so I was going to purchase a new one until I saw that the new ones from Hitachi are about $600, so I decided instead that I'd get a rebuilt. Luckily there was a local shop and that guy rebuilt it for us for $115, which is a whole lot better than $600, so I was pretty happy with that. But before I could get to this point here, I had to remove everything around there because the doghouse was in the way. So when you got ready to do some wrenching back there, it gave you absolutely no room. If you got like a 64 tooth ratchet, you might have some luck with it, but with the stuff that I had, there was no way. So I had to remove all of that stuff. And before you can get to that stuff there, you got to get to this point here. Seeing as it was about 31 degrees out, we're obviously working as quickly as possible, but I didn't work quite this quickly. I sped this up 2,000 times and ran it in reverse. You can see the process involved in having to take the doghouse apart and everything. All the pieces that are on there were thankfully fairly well rust-free, so I was able to disconnect pretty much everything on the entire machine without any great fanfare. I had to grind a couple of things down with the grinder, but not bad for a machine from 1989, because I would have expected it to actually be a whole lot worse than that. I've got a couple of pieces that I've got to replace. Like I've got an L bracket that's underneath that has a couple of metric bolts that go through it, and those were completely rusted off. I had to just burn those completely out of there. And I have I have to rebuild a battery setup in there because the battery tray was completely disintegrated. So the battery is sort of sitting on top of a little board. Not super helpful. Everything in here was super heavy. This piece that I'm taking off right here was well over 100 pounds. That's why I was using the chain fall to take it down. It didn't look that heavy when I went to take it apart, and then when I actually tried to lift it, I realized how heavy the thing was and decided to get the equipment out to move it around. After that point, it was pretty much smooth sailing, and all I really needed to do was bolt a couple of more things down, and like I said, I'll have to manufacture a battery tray for it. Preheat it. So the beeping you're hearing right now, that's the starter beeper. When the beeper goes out, then you can turn the key to turn it over. As you can see, it was not turning over. Well, it was turning over, so my new starter was working, but it wasn't starting. So I gave it another shot. Unfortunately, I'd forgotten, seeing it had been 6 months since I'd started this thing, which direction the throttle goes in, because I didn't have that much experience with this machine before I got it. And it turns out that played a little bit of a part in actually getting it started. Well, I'm not even going to tell you what I did to get it started, but I will tell you that it had a whole lot to do with not realizing which direction was apply fuel and which direction was cut fuel off. Yeah. Needless to say, once you have the fuel on, it actually started pretty easy.